Gavin and Hayden knew these woods, knew the rules. If you see a grizzly, you back away. But this wasn't normal. 600 pounds of muscle and fur, lying too still by Thor's creek. Blood in the snow, ice crusted over his black coat. And those eyes, locked onto them. Not angry, not afraid, pleading. A wounded grizzly should have charged, should have roared. But Thor just watched. Hayden's fingers trembled on the radio. Something's wrong. He's not trying to escape. Then Gavin saw it. The way Thor's body curved. Not collapsed. Positioned. Like a living barricade. Hiding something. Dr. Leah Dawson moved in as Thor finally slumped. The sedation took hold. Then, she lifted his massive foreleg. And there they were. Two cubs. So small. So still. Piper let out a whimper. Jasper didn't move at all. My God, Leah whispered. He wasn't dying alone. He was dying for them. The stats didn't make sense. Hypothermia. Cracked ribs. But Thor's worst injury? Exhaustion. Like he'd fought for days without rest. Males don't protect cubs, Leah muttered. They kill them. Yet here was Thor, body failing, still trying to tuck Piper closer with his muzzle. Defying nature itself. Piper stirred against Leah's chest. One tiny paw stretched out, not toward warmth. Not toward food. Toward Thor's still form in the back. A sound escaped her. Not a cry. A name. Jasper answered with a huff, nuzzling his sister. They knew. Long before the humans did. He was already gone. Connor Banks froze the security footage. These claw marks. Not from fighting another bear. From shielding. The timeline was clear. Thor had been injured miles away. Dragged himself here. To this exact spot. Where Storm's territory ended. Where her den once stood. Where two cubs somehow survived. Leah's hand hovered over the sedative. Thor's heart could stop if she drugged him again. But letting him stay awake meant pain. Then, a click. Jasper's kennel unlatched. The cub stumbled forward, pressed his nose to Thor's. Connor's voice cracked. Storm died 3 years ago. Avalanche. The screen showed Thor, younger, unmarked, standing over a buried den. Digging for hours. Days. Until rangers pulled him away. Leah's tears hit the keyboard. These cubs' birth date? 1 week after Storm's death. He finally found them, Connor whispered. Jasper and Piper wobbled into the pen. Straight to Thor's side. No hesitation. The massive bear, too weak to stand, lifted his head. One licked to Jasper's ear. 2 to Piper's nose. A wild male grizzly, grooming orphans. The team stood silent. Some bonds outlive biology. Outlast breath. Dawn light revealed Thor's final act. Piper curled on his chest. Jasper tucked under his chin. In between them, one massive paw, still resting protectively over both cubs. Leah didn't need the stethoscope. She knelt anyway. You did it, she whispered. A single tear melted the frost on his fur. They're safe now. Jenna placed the first smooth river stone where Thor took his last breath. By morning, 2 smaller rocks had appeared beside it. Jasper nosed his into place. Piper dragged hers with her paws. The staff pretended not to notice when the cubs started sleeping curled around those stones, like they were keeping watch over something only they could see. 3 days. 3 days Jasper refused to eat. Then Piper did something extraordinary. She took a piece of salmon from Ruby's hand, carried it in her tiny jaws, and dropped it at her brother's feet. The message was clear. Jasper finally ate, but Ruby would swear to her dying day that grown bear had tears in his eyes as he chewed. Connor checked the timestamps again. For 32 p.m. Every single day. Like clockwork, the cubs would face west, toward Thor's Creek, toward where he died. The exact time his heart had stopped. Bears don't tell time, Connor muttered. Then he saw Piper's mouth move. No sound, but the shape was unmistakable. A name. Thor. Jasper's shoulders broadened first. Then his stance changed, always positioning himself between Piper and any threat. Just like Thor had. When Dr. Leah entered with vaccines, Jasper did something that chilled her. He stood perfectly still, not frozen in fear. Calculating. Assessing. The way only an adult male grizzly should know how to do. The alarm blared at 3:17 a.m. Jasper had forced open the secondary gate. Security footage showed him standing at the tree line, sniffing the wind toward Pelican Valley, toward where Storm had died. Then, a sound off camera. Piper's whimper. Jasper turned back immediately. Some calls are stronger than memory, stronger than blood. The storm rolled in at midnight. Piper reacted first, standing on hind legs, facing the wind. Then came a sound no cub should make. Half roar, half-scream. The next morning, rangers found fresh claw marks on trees near Thor's Creek. Too high for Jasper, too deep for Piper, and arranged in Storm's signature pattern, 3 vertical, 1 diagonal. Connor released them into the half-acre wilderness zone. Jasper went straight to the northeast corner, Thor's preferred spot, and began digging. Not a practice den. A perfect replica of Thor's last shelter. Piper, meanwhile, uncovered buried food caches with eerie precision. That's impossible, Connor whispered. Unless someone's teaching them. The first blizzard hit hard. The cubs went berserk, racing to their stone circle, pawing at the rocks, shoving their noses into the frozen ground exactly where Thor had died. Jenna checked the date. 1 year. To the day. They remember, she told Dr. Leah. God help them. They remember everything. Connor triggered the speakers. Piper bolted, straight into Jasper's waiting arms. The young male didn't flee. Didn't panic. He positioned himself exactly as Thor had, broadside to the threat, head low, motionless. Ready to take the hit. The recording ended. Jasper didn't relax until Piper licked his muzzle twice. Release day. The gate swung wide. Piper hesitated, looking back toward the distant mountains where Thor had died. Jasper nudged her forward with his snout, just as Thor had done for them in that frozen creek bed. As they disappeared into Shoshone Forest, Jenna spotted something impossible, 2 freshly placed stones at the trailhead, right where the transport truck had parked. The trail cam footage was crystal clear, Jasper and Piper playing near the creek. Then the camera jerked. Something massive moved just beyond the frame. When rangers checked the site, they found no tracks. No broken branches. Just 2 fresh claw marks, 9 feet high, carved into a pine. Exactly Thor's reach. Piper returned at dawn, a gash across her shoulder. Jasper's muzzle was stained red. That same morning, hunters found a mountain lion carcass 3 miles north, ribs shattered, skull crushed. The kill style? Unmistakable. That's Thor's work, Connor whispered. But Thor was dead. Wasn't he? Winter came early. Jasper dug their den with too much precision. Same arched entrance Thor used. Same southern exposure. Piper lined it with branches and Storm's signature crossweave. They never saw those dens, Dr. Leah muttered. Yet every detail was perfect. As if someone, or something, had shown them. The poacher's trail ended abruptly at the cub's territory. His rifle? Snapped in half. His jacket? Shredded. But here's what made rangers swear off the area. No bear tracks. Just 1 enormous claw mark on an aspen, and 2 small sets of paw prints leading away. Watching. Waiting. Jasper took down his first elk, not with a rookie's frenzy, but with Storm's trademark throat strike. Piper didn't eat. She dragged the carcass to their den, then vanished at dawn. Rangers found the bones arranged in a circle at Thor's Creek. A tribute. A message. We remember. Subject moving 30 miles per hour, impossible for juveniles. The thermal drone showed only Piper, until the camera glitched. For 3 seconds, something massive appeared between her and Jasper. Then, gone. The pilot's voice cracked. That heat signature, it matched an adult male grizzly. But the coordinates? Thor's burial site. At Thor's Creek, Jasper stood tall, 9 feet exactly, to claw a pine. Piper added her mark beneath it. Within weeks, rangers found identical dual markings at 7 locations, forming a perfect 20-mile circle around their territory. A warning. A ward. Or a family's embrace. The cowboy drew his gun as Piper charged. Then as she froze, his jacket reeked of pine sap from the exact tree where Thor had died. The pistol clattered to the dirt. Later, the man would swear, her eyes, they weren't hers. They were his. The rival Grizzly never stood a chance. Jasper fought with Thor's brute force. Piper? Storm's surgical strikes. When it fled, the siblings did something no wild bears should. They split up, guarding opposite ends of their land. Strategy. Teamwork. A mother and father's lessons carved into their blood. Hikers reported 4 bears near Thor's Creek, 2 juveniles, 1 massive male, 1 sleek female. The description? Impossible. That night, trail cams caught Jasper and Piper sleeping atop Thor's burial stone, their intertwined paws casting one shadow. Stretched too large, too long, and for a heartbeat, shaped like a full-grown grizzly. Piper started digging 12 hours before the avalanche hit, not just any hole, but Storm's signature emergency den. Jasper herded 3 stray coyote pups inside. When rangers found them after the slide, all were alive. They shouldn't have known, Connor whispered. The den faced away from danger, just like Storm's last act years before. Every full moon, Jasper abandoned fresh kills to trek to Thor's Creek. Thermal drones showed him following an invisible trail, nose to ground, circling empty spaces. Then, on October's blood moon, Piper did something chilling. She stood on hind legs and pushed against thin air, right where Thor's body had fallen, like checking for a heartbeat. The sanctuary's midnight footage glitched at 2:17 a.m. For 8 seconds, the infrared showed a massive shape leaning over Jasper's sleeping form. When Jenna zoomed in, just shadows, and Piper, wide awake, licking something the camera couldn't see. The timestamp matched Thor's exact death minute from 2 years prior. When Jasper dragged a starving yearling into their den, biologists panicked. Grizzlies don't adopt. But Piper? She groomed the stranger with Storm's precise strokes. The orphan flourished until rangers noticed its odd habit, burying salmon bones exactly where Thor's stone memorial once stood, like it had been taught by ghosts. The pine near Thor's grave began weeping amber in perfect paw print shapes. Then came the bark, peeling away to reveal fur-like patterns. Jenna touched it once and jerked back. It's warm. By summer, the tree's shadow at noon always showed 2 adult bears standing over smaller forms. Even on cloudy days, Ranger Cole woke screaming, Storm's face vivid in his mind, her muzzle pointing west. He followed the vision to a collapsed den. Inside, a hiker's missing child alive. The boy's words haunted Cole. The mama bear told me to hide here. Later, thermal scans showed 4 heat signatures leaving the area, but only 2 sets of paw prints. The wolf pack had the elk surrounded, until Piper stepped forward and growled upward, at nothing. The alphas first stood on end. They abandoned the kill instantly. Trail cams revealed why. Piper's shadow in the moonlight wasn't hers alone. It showed massive shoulders looming behind her, shoulders matching Thor's exact profile. Jasper's challenge roar sometimes came out wrong. Audio analysis showed 2 distinct frequencies, one his, one deeper. Rangers played it for Connor blind. His face drained. That's Thor's vocal signature. The kicker? The secondary roar only appeared when Piper was in danger. Like some bonds defy even death. During the worst storm in decades, a single paw print melted snow in a perfect circle. No bear near it. No heat source. Just absence of cold. Piper spent hours circling that spot, pressing her nose into the hollow. When the blizzard passed, the print remained, unfrosted for 3 weeks in sub-zero temperatures. Every winter solstice, Piper left a fresh salmon on Thor's burial stone. Rangers assumed Jasper helped, until cameras caught the truth. Piper alone carried the fish 18 miles through blizzards, always arriving at exactly 4:32 p.m., the time of Thor's last breath. The fish? Always placed just so, mimicking how Storm used to feed her mate. Jasper and Piper's first litter of cubs played unervingly with empty air near Thor's Creek, nudging, pouncing, even nursing where nothing visible stood. Thermal drones showed brief heat blooms exactly at adult bear height. They're being raised by more than just Jasper and Piper, Dr. Leah noted. The cubs' favorite game? Chasing a shadow that always let them win. The government thermal scan should have shown 2 bears. Instead, 4 heat signatures appeared, 2 small, 2 massive, moving in perfect sync through the valley. When analysts enhanced the image, they found the larger shapes lacked ground shadows. The report was classified immediately. That same night, every trail cam in a 10-mile radius malfunctioned simultaneously. I lied in my official report. Ranger Cole's voice cracked on the recording. That foggy morning, I saw him, Thor, standing behind Jasper like a living bear. But when I blinked, the tape captured 3 seconds of static before Cole whispered the chilling detail. Jasper turned and licked Thor. No hunter who entered Jasper and Piper's territory came out unscathed. Traps sprung on empty air. Rifles jammed mysteriously. One man swore a female grizzly with Storm scars chased him for miles, though Piper was verified 50 miles away. The final straw? A poacher's GPS tracker showed him running in circles for 9 hours around Thor's Creek, before being found unharmed, muttering about the ghost bears. Piper's solstice howl echoed across the mountains, followed 3 seconds later by an identical roar from Thor's Creek. Rangers arrived to find fresh prints in the snow, Piper's leading in, 2 sets leading out. The response roar's audio analysis matched no living bear, except one 20-year-old recording from the archives. Storm's last known vocalization. When a 700-pound male challenged Jasper, he didn't fight alone. Witnesses described something moving in the trees, something that made the rival bear suddenly freeze mid-charge. Jasper's finishing move? Thor's signature shoulder slam. The defeated bear fled, but not before casting terrified glances over Jasper's shoulder at empty space. After the first snowfall, a hiker found impossible prints spelling storm near an abandoned den. Wildlife officials dismissed it, until the letters rearranged themselves overnight into protect. The kicker? No human had been within miles. Only 2 sets of bear tracks circled the message, and one enormous, melting print that steamed in the freezing air. The photographer's award-winning shot showed Jasper and Piper standing proud, with 2 blurred shapes behind them. Enhanced imaging revealed the truth: a massive male bear nuzzling a smaller female's ear. The timestamp? Exactly 10 years to the minute since Thor and Storm's deaths. The photo vanished from all records within 24 hours, but not before 17 copies were mysteriously mailed to the sanctuary staff. Generations later, Thor's stone circle remained, constantly replenished by new cubs who'd never known him. Sanctuary staff reported an odd phenomenon. The rocks were always warm to the touch, even in deep winter. Night cameras caught the truth. Elderly Jasper, now silver-muzzled, still leading each new litter to meet the stones, where thermal imaging briefly showed 2 additional adult shapes crouching low. Locals still leave salmon at Thor's Creek every solstice. Some claim to hear dual roars answering from empty valleys. Others swear they've seen 4 bears, 2 solid, 2 shimmering, standing guard over the territory. But the surest proof? The government quietly designated the area a wildlife spiritual heritage site, the only one where ghost bears are legally protected alongside living ones. Because some loves? They outlast flesh, outlast time, outlast even death itself.